Hi guys, welcome to Real Talk. Today I have Cindy from Timber Crafts joining me. Cindy
Hello, y'all.
is part of the wreath community and is here to answer questions based on how she runs her business, and she's got some tips and tricks and some advice for us. So let me start by asking Cindy, how long have you been actually doing what you do with wood?
So I started back in 2017. I was a cake maker before, and I just got burned out on it. So I wanted to try something new, and I went into wood crafts. So since 2017, I've been doing this.
So let
It's
everybody
been
know
a
like
journey.
where they can find you. Like where are you located? Where can they find you? Things like that.
So on Instagram, my name is underscore crafts. On TikTok, I'm just Timber Crafts, and then on Facebook, also Timber Crafts. So those are I have Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. I
Do
also
you
do
have
use
a link
Pinterest, but I don't
tree?
know if people. I don't. I just have the like Bitcoin. I think it's not a Bitcoin. Sorry, Bitcoin. So it does have my link here where
So
my
that will be
all
somewhere
it has
people
all my
can see all
links.
your stuff. There you go. So you do have one location where everybody can see where to contact you.
Right.
Now, do you sell on Etsy or do you have your own website?
So I sell on Etsy. I do also sell locally on Facebook.
Justin says, I'm such a fan of Cindy. Justin from Green Reese is over here. I'm such a fan of Cindy. I just had to share that with you. It's okay. I can
Thank
see
you
you're
so
nervous,
much.
and just know I adore
Yes.
you, and everybody is here to hear from you because we all appreciate and adore you. Okay, so we're gonna dive into cake decorator. When I
Yes.
found out that you decorated cakes, that you used fondant, the post that you made recently made me giggle because we had just talked about that. We had just
Yes.
discussed
Yes.
that, and all of a sudden,
Yes.
somebody that you haven't seen in forever is like, are you this same Cindy? So I'm like, that
Yeah.
it was amazing. And I'm like, okay, so guys, knowing that she used to be a cake decorator, when you look at her stuff now, do you not see like that creativity, how that connects? So let's talk about cake decorating. Let's talk about how long you did that and what burned you out on that? Like what was it that you're just like, okay, I'm done.
So it started off because my best friend was gonna have a baby shower, and I was gonna be in charge of purchasing the cake. And when she started sending me pictures of cakes, I was like, I don't know why. I've never done a cake, but I think I could pull something like that off. Can you just let me make one for you? And she's like, sure, I trust you, do your thing. So my very first cake was a fondant cake with little figures that I had done with like I had sculpted little figures with sugar, and it came out good, and so that's how it started. People were around me, my friends and family were encouraging me like, you could do this. So that's how I started first, because of my best friend's baby shower. And then
So
I
you
just
didn't take a class?
I never took a class at the beginning. Once I started, I did take a class at Hobby Lobby that they offer, like frosting. They teach you how to frost a cake at, I don't know if they still do that, but I did take a class at Hobby Lobby. It must have been like 6 months after, because I was like, I'm not even sure if I'm doing it right. So I did want to take a class, and I did take a
That's
frosting class. But
amazing. So you
thank
didn't go
you.
to YouTube, you didn't go to YouTube University, did you? Did you go like
I
watch
actually never
people?
used I never used YouTube to learn how to do cakes at all. It was just practice and practice and practice.
I'm
So yeah.
I'm I'm floored. That's kind of amazing that you took something that was a need for somebody that you cared about and made it yours. Like you owned it. You made that important to you. And then so how long did you decorate cakes for?
I did it for about gosh, I did it for about 10 years. Yeah, about 10 years. I did it for about 10 years, and it was like a side hustle. It was a side hustle. It wasn't my main source of income, but it did take over. And the reason why I got burned out is because I've always said making a cake is not a piece of cake, especially if you're making fondant cakes. You're literally making like art out of bread. So it's hard. You just never know how the bread's gonna react to the weather, the temperature outside. A lot of people wanted fondant cakes or buttercream cakes, and they wanted, where I used to live, it was like 105 degrees outside, and it's like you can't have a cake like that outside. So many variables. And I got burned out because it's like I liked my cakes being fresh, so it was like the weekends were my most busiest. So it was like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It was like I was in the kitchen 24 hours a day. It was insane. I'm a messy crafter, and I'm also a messy cake maker. So at the end of the day, my floor was like powdered sugar everywhere. Like it was
Okay, but you
insane.
say that
So
every time you're crafting, you actually do say that. You always say, I'm a messy crafter.
I am.
I'm
I
a
truly
messy
am.
maker. That's what we should call you. You're just a messy
Yes,
maker. Okay,
I am.
that's a good way of putting that. All right, so from cake decorating, you did something before that or alongside that? Like when did you, okay, so I do a pre-interview with whoever's joining me, and during our pre-interview, Cindy actually shared that she basically took over running her dad's business. So I'm trying to figure out
Yeah.
timeline wise, was that at the same time the cake decorating and your dad's business? Like go ahead and talk about that a little bit.
So, after graduating high school, I was a babysitter at a church for like about a year and a half. I was in charge of 23 kids under the age of two. Um, it was way too much for me. They were still, some of them were potty training. By the end of like the year and a half, I told my dad, I cannot work there anymore. And he had a printing business. We printed business cards, brochures, things like that. And so I was like, can I just work with you? So I went to work with him, and I worked with him until he passed away, and I took over the business. So that was when I turned 29. And so after he passed, I took over the business, and it was really hard to run it because he had a vending machine business as well. So I was having to deal with that. Um, it it got crazy because in a span, I'm just gonna real quick, in a span of like 3 weeks, I got served divorce papers after a 12-year relationship. The next week, my father passes away. And then the following week, the print shop that I inherited was broken into, and they stole everything but the big printer we had. I was at my wit's ends. So it was a rough year. And after that, like a year and a half later, I met my now husband, but we met online. So I had to move over here, and I left the business over there where I used to live 9.5 hours away. It was hard to run it from a distance. So I had to shut it down. And that's when the cake business really was my priority, my main income. Um, but yes, I did have the guilt of closing the print shop because that was his dream. He worked so hard for that. But after many years, I realized that was his dream, and it's okay to do something for myself. And so that was cake making. But then I got burned out on cakes, and I was like, the guilt of buying all this stuff for making cakes, all the tools, all the pans. There's so much that you have to buy to make cakes. And then the guilt of, I'm burned out now. I want to do something else. And it's like, ugh, but I had the encouragement of family and friends to do whatever you want. But there is that guilt, like, ooh, I went from owning a print shop to making cakes to now I want to do woodwork. Like, yeah.
But it's time to share how you incorporate your dad into what you're doing now.
So my dad had this amazing garage where he had these metal signs that were like Texaco. They were like old gas metal signs, and they were round. So now to incorporate him into my business, people often ask me, what size are your door hangers? And I always say 23.5 inches, because I use that metal to make the template for my door hangers. So to keep him part of my business, that's what I do. But if somebody does want like a smaller size, I do it, but that's my standard size, just to kind of keep him in.
But that's why they are the size that they are. And if you don't know that, then you just don't know that. You just wonder, why did she pick such a odd, large size? But let me tell you something. She is not concerned, nor does she care, nor anything. She's just going to keep making her product. And the people that love her stuff, guys, they're repeat customers. Are they not, Cindy?
Oh, a lot of my customers are repeat customers, yes.
Yeah, and
Yes.
have they ever questioned the size?
When honestly, it's been like maybe like five that have said like, why that size? And then I explain. Um, but I do also like big things. I like statement pieces. So to me, the size is a statement piece on a door. It's definitely bigger than the normal. I think 18 inches is what people normally use. But mine are
As a
23 and a
large
half
one,
inches.
yeah.
And like I
18
said,
is usually, yeah. 18 is usually the
yeah.
largest, yeah. But that I think that's unique. I think it's brave. And it says something that you've been in business 6 years with this, so you've got to be doing something right,
Yeah. I
right?
hope so. Yeah.
Okay, guys. So are there any questions that you have for Cindy based on her current, what she's doing now, what she did with cakes, her dad's business? Do you guys have any questions that you'd like her to answer for you? Anything on your side, Cindy?
Let me see. Thank you guys. I'm just getting a whole bunch of compliments. Um, Thank you guys. I don't have a question. Do any of you guys have a question for me? I don't have questions. Let me see.
Where are you from?
Keep
That was a question that came up.
Oh, okay. So I am from Odessa. I'm in West Texas. I'm not originally from here. I am from McAllen, Texas. It's called, that whole area is called RGV, Rio Grande Valley. And that's where I'm from originally, but I'm located in West Texas right now.
And then when somebody places an order with you, how long does it take you from when they place the order to actually shipping it out?
It normally takes me about a week. I make them as they are ordered. So I don't make anything that's ready to ship. It's as soon as I get the order, I go, I cut. I normally have rounds already pre-cut, but I start painting, the painting process, cutting with the laser. I didn't have a laser all the time, so would have to scroll saw back then. So yeah, it takes about a week so that it could go
That's
out
an
the door.
amazing turnaround. So you don't have physical inventory. So you don't have the problem of storing or anything like that.
No, only like locals that have not picked up their orders. I have them here. That's
Isn't
the
that
only
always
thing.
hey, have they paid for them? If they've paid for them, whatever, it's storage, right? I
Yeah.
was asked, what size boxes do you use to ship?
So I use Uline to buy my boxes, and I use a 24 by 24 by 4, and I have that little perforator, and I perforate it in half so it won't be so thick. It lowers the cost of shipping, but also it prevents the door hanger from be banging like all the time. So I reduce the size so that it won't be going 4 inches as opposed to 2.5. So
Yeah, that's a
that's those.
commitment, girl. And then, of course, Laurel says, my ultimate favorite is the lemon.
Oh, thank you. that
So
was
that's awesome. Okay, so we're going to go ahead into our next topic, which is a little bit more personal. You guys will get to see a side of Cindy. She's allowing herself to talk about this, but I want you guys to be adult about it and understand that if you ask a question and she's not willing to answer it, we're going to respect that. But we're going to touch on basically anxiety, panic attacks, and how you've actually figured out how to do your business your way in lieu of that. So you're doing it with that. So guys, this is a sensitive subject, so I do ask that you be very respectful. And thank you, Cindy, for being willing to talk about it. So share your story, girl.
so I suffer from GAD, which is generalized anxiety disorder. Um, I do suffer from a lot of panic attacks. It gets worse obviously if you sleep less, if you're not eating well, if you're not. Fourth quarter is crazy for me normally. I always say that I'm gonna prepare for the season, and then it ends up being crazy during fourth quarter. So I do suffer from panic attacks a lot lately. I've been having a lack of sleep. It's hard to, for me, I'm still trying to figure it out. I'm still trying to figure out what works for me. Uh, because my father died of a heart attack, my anxiety is more heart issue, and my heart's racing. What's going on? But I've learned now that um, it might be, I don't know if it's like a bad way to take it, but I'm like, if it happens, it happens. There's nothing I can do about it. Like if it's my time to go, it's my time to go. Oh well. That's just how I've dealt with it. Of course, if I start feeling anxiety, I just take a break. I go lay down. I try to nap, but I'm not really a napper. I just try to lay down. Ice packs work. I put an ice pack like right here, and it definitely helps. If I have a headache, I'm not the type of person that likes taking a lot of medications. So even if I have a headache, if I have a cold, if I have a sinus, I don't take anything. I try to do everything natural. So if I have like a headache or something, I'll just put an ice pack underneath my beanie. Ice packs are the greatest thing for me. It works. Um, but I'm still trying to manage how to do it because I think running a business is very stressful in many ways. There's getting the product out, making, I don't like shipping out anything that I wouldn't hang myself in my own house. So quality, I'm the quality control. I cut my own wood. I paint my own stuff. I glue everything. I it's a process. But then there's also, well, you have to do social media. So there's social media. You have to take pictures. You have to take video. The amount of social medias, uh, Pinterest, Instagram, TikTok, all of them, they all have messages. They all have comments. That, and I'm also a homeschool mom. So half the day or more than half the day, it's homeschool. Balancing that is sometimes adds to the anxiety, adds to the stress level. And I don't know if anybody, I'm sure there's a lot of other people that suffer from anxiety, but I'm, I'm raw dogging it, to be honest with you guys. I'm
Okay,
raw
so
dogging through
but
it.
that's fair, right? Several people on my side have thanked you for talking about it. They suffer with it as well. And seeing
Um,
somebody that actually does have this is a reality. She is very well aware that this is something that is hers. It is something that is part of her. So let me ask you this. So typically when you go live, you prefer showing what you're doing rather than your face. Is that something that you do specifically because that causes you less anxiety to do that?
I am an introvert. I feel like I'm a very introverted person. I'm camera shy a lot, and I just think. well, why would people want to see my face? They want to see what I'm doing down here, which is painting. And I don't know. I guess I just haven't found a good angle to show my face and do what I'm doing because it's really hard for me to find the angle. And I'm like, I don't think people want to see my face. They just want to see what I'm doing. So let me just show them what I'm doing. Um, so that's some of the reasons why.
But here's the thing, okay? Several people connect to people by seeing their face. Okay, so
Yes.
there's that part of it too. Like you have to think about when you go watch creators, right? And you're getting to know creators and you're watching what they're doing. Oftentimes you connect to how genuine they are, to how they make you feel when you're in that live. You have
Yes.
the kindest, sweetest voice.
Oh my God, thank you.
You do.
Thank you.
And
I feel
it's
like I have, that's
something,
another thing.
it's
I
very
feel like I have like
inviting.
a two-point voice.
You
Is
have a
it?
very, it is, it's very inviting. It's very welcoming. So that is something that, just so you know, from my perspective, that was something that I really enjoyed coming in to watch you and hear you and you explain things so well. But I know that being that mental health is such a thing with everybody. We all have some form of mental health that we struggle, whether it be insecurities, whether it be
Yes.
the self-talk that we have that is not good. We are our own worst enemies. Guys, when we have an idea, we can talk ourselves out of it within 5 seconds. Five
Yes.
seconds, we can
Yes.
talk ourselves out of that idea. And typically, that idea that was planted, the one that you immediately talked yourself out of, is exactly what you need to be doing to grow.
Yeah.
Right? That's exactly what we need to be doing to grow. So we need to talk about these things. We need people to come alongside us and encourage us. And you know what, Cindy? If you need to go take an ice pack and you need to go lay down, by all means, please go do that for yourself because that is all part of self-care. I am not going to tell you you're wrong for it. I'm not going to tell you that that's not what you should be doing. I am not going to tell you you need to be medicated. That is, I'm not a fan of people immediately giving somebody a directive that has nothing to do with you. If that's what works for you, then yay, that's what works for you. But we're going to let Cindy be Cindy and we're going to say thank you for sharing your struggle and how you deal with it because that gives other people hope to say, you know what, I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one that doesn't want to go get medicated and wants to figure out how to not necessarily heal, but cope, right? Because there's nothing really wrong with you. Cindy, there's nothing wrong with you. There really isn't. You are a human being trying to figure this out for themselves, and I applaud you for that. So thank you
Thank
again, everyone, for being so kind. Are there any questions on your side that you would like to share?
you. Somebody that also said that they don't go live. They don't show their face because of panic attacks, I believe. Uh, yeah. So a lot of somebody. I'm not seeing any questions, but somebody did say that even going to the grocery shopping is sometimes that I suffer from that when I go grocery shopping immediately. I start hearing swishing in my ears, and it's my heartbeat with the pressure that I have in my ears. Um,
You can hear your heartbeat in your ears.
yeah, yeah, it sounds like whoosh, 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 whoosh. And I've like told my
Wow.
doctor, and she's like, "Oh, that's because your anxiety is so bad." But yeah, because I honestly like I have a fear, like I'm scared in our city, in our little town, we had unfortunately like a mass shooting, and it triggered because it was just it was obviously random, but it was somebody just driving shooting people with an AK. And then I knew somebody that was in the movie theater when it happened, and it ended there. Um, and so I have that ever since high school. I always prepared my I had this is my anxiety goes so far, but like when I was in high school, I would be like, I would sit in the same spot, and I'm like, if something happens, the door's right there. So like during lunch, I was always, because I grew up in the 90s, so Columbine happened when I was in high school. So that was to me very scary. And I'm just like a scaredy cat like that. So
It's
my mind is
don't call
always
yourself names, friend. Do not call yourself names because unfortunately, it's the reality of the world that we are living in, and we're all trying to do the best we can in light of that. Like with that being what we have, what we deal with. So big time. Now is the time to not only look at the other person that you are looking at online, and here's I'm going to try not to get emotional. It takes a lot of guts to hit that live button and put yourself out there, knowing that you don't know who's watching you, because now people can watch from the outside and they don't even have to click go in, so that you don't know who's watching you. And it takes a lot of guts for whoever hits that live button. So don't be that person to be ugly to that person. Don't be that person that feels like they need to say something, that they don't belong, that they shouldn't go live. You know what? This world is become very isolating because of all the anxieties, the introvertedness, the fears. Everybody's meant to feel less than, and it's unacceptable to me. That is not acceptable to me. So just be kind.
like, I was like one of the few people I think that actually enjoyed lockdown. Like
You're
I was
not.
like,
You're not. I
it
know
was,
several people.
yeah, I was in my, in, it was perfect for me. I'm like, I get to stay home. I can, you know, the only thing I didn't like was the lines that you had to do at the grocery store sometimes. But even then, I was like, that's less people in there. I don't have to, you know, I loved it. I loved lockdown. I actually
My whole
miss
chat is turned
home.
into I loved lockdown. My whole chat is turned into I loved lockdown. Okay? Because
Yeah.
let me tell you something. For me, I'm an extrovert. For me,
Oh,
lockdown was it was awful. It was the worst thing. You take somebody who's always talking to people, who literally vibrates like this. I need to talk to people. I think people are amazing. I want to go and I want to make you feel good about just existing, you know? And I'm put behind walls where I can't talk to people, and I can't even like I have no choice, zero choice. So basically, all my choices were taken away. And I'm sitting here going, no. So blessed are my two friends, Jessica and Jan. Listen to what we did. They were my neighbors. They live right up the street. We sat, I took my camping chair and we sat in a triangle and ate lunch together
outside.
every day. And we didn't
That
like
is
we were six
awesome.
feet away from each other, but Claudia needed that desperately because I'm like, I
Yes.
need to see you. I need to be connecting. So that's the thing that social media does for people too. Social media is
Yes.
also a place to connect, and we need to do it healthy, guys. We need to be healthy about it. You know, if you have a
Yes.
problem with somebody and it bothers you the next day, please go to that person. Maybe they said
Hmm.
something that you took the wrong way. Maybe you felt left out and you're sad about it and you're still sad about it the next day. Go to that person. If I said, "Hey, Cindy, when you did blankety blank blank, I was really hurt by that." And then Cindy would
Yes.
say, "Oh my gosh, Claudia, I care about you so much. I am so sorry that hurt you. I will do better. I care about you. I'm so sorry." Boom.
Mhm.
Guess what? We still love each other and we move on. Healthy
And as somebody that
relationship.
suffers from like anxiety, and somebody like me that suffers from anxiety, like we could, like I'll be laying down in bed and I'll be like, wait, was that comment too bad? Did I comment on that TikTok? Did that person take it back? Or, you know, like even going on somebody's live sometimes, and I'm like, but I had to leave. Like I could only be on the live for a minute, a few minutes, and then I had to leave. Maybe that person said, "Oh, Cindy, this," and then I never answered it. Like things like that. That I like. I'm like, oh my god.
But that's the
Um,
thing. That's that perpetual anxiety driven, repetitive thing that you think about, and that person maybe didn't even think about it at all. It didn't
Yeah.
affect that other person at all. And you're sitting here with your anxiety hanging out
Overthinking.
for a bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's awful.
Yes.
I'm so sorry. I don't mean to laugh, but wow, that is perpetual. That is something that is so uncontrollable. Okay, so it's Michelle of Timber and Tool asks, I have a business question. Does she paint from a stencil or is it freehand?
So most of the stuff that I do now are made out of wood. So the letters that I do are not stenciled, they're actual wood cutouts that I spray paint or I paint by hand and I glue it onto the board. There are some things that I use stencils with, but I'll be honest, I don't like using my Cricut. I have a Cricut machine. I don't like using my Cricut. I would rather cut it out of wood and glue it down. Only because with me, as long as I've been doing door hangers with stencils, it's always a hit or miss. I don't know if when I lift that stencil, if it's going to be bled all over the place or not. And I cannot stand that, so I rather just cut it out of wood and do that. Occasionally, I do hand paint a couple of things without a stencil. What I do, it's more like a template where I have a tissue. So I'll print it out in paper and get graphite paper, put it on top of my board, put the printed paper, and then just go over it with a pencil to just kind of stencil it into the board. That's what I do. The majority of times I would rather do that than use my Cricut.
I was also asked, what kind of glue do you use?
So I use wood glue. I think it's Ultra Bond something. I get it at Lowe's or Home Depot. It's like a big gallon yellow wood glue. I think there's like different types. I use a blue one. There's a green one as well. I don't know the difference between them. I just always use the blue one. And yeah, I just would regular wood glue.
All right, so we're gonna go back a little bit because when I tell you when we were talking about lockdown, my chat blew up. I'm not kidding. So let's touch a little bit more about that because so many of us, when the lockdown happened, ended up working from home. My business included. They decided that they're going to keep this model, and it's more cost effective to have everybody work remotely than bringing them back into the office. So let's just talk about being a creator online or being in this online community where most of us don't live close to one another. So, Cindy, what have you found for you has been the most awesome thing? Because you said that you actually met your husband online, and so did I, but I met my husband in
Yes.
1998.
Like in a chat room?
Like in a Microsoft comic chat room when AOL first started having their thing.
Oh,
It was, yeah, so this is near and dear to my heart. And I don't know if you know this, but Greg and Michelle from Creek Road Designs also met online. So there are several of,
really?
yeah, so there are several of us that actually met our spouses online. So that is really cool to know. But as far as like the relationships that you have currently that are strictly you met the person online, do you have strong relationships with other creators and other business owners that you've made online?
Yes, actually I do. Um, Even in the door hanger community, I do have several friends that I have made on Instagram, on Facebook, and here on TikTok. This year, I made a lot of wreath community friends by going on people's lives. So yes, like Courtney and Lindsay, you and Max, like I have made so many, Katniss, Nikki, like so many that I feel like the wreath community in TikTok is just real like I don't know, I love it. They're real welcoming because I started in January and
Wow.
I yeah, I started in January. So to me it's been amazing. Like I love the wreath community on TikTok. Um, I don't, I haven't even really tried other social medias to connect with other people. It's mainly been TikTok, and mainly because of the lives. Like it's easier to
So,
connect.
would you encourage people that typically are silent watchers, that just kind of hang out and watch and don't say anything? Would you encourage them, even though they're introverts, to just say hello and let people know that you're there? I mean, talk
Yes,
about that. So, what encourage people?
I was actually last night, I was like, how many friends have I made on TikTok? Because my friends are from 9.5 hours away from my hometown. So I have long distance relationships with them as well. But I'm like, how many friends have I made on TikTok? So I started counting. It was like more than 15. And I'm like, that's more friends than I've ever even had my whole life. Like I have my 5 best friends. That's more. And that started in 1 year. And that's amazing to me because not only is there a community, but I've learned from them. Like I've learned everything that I've done with the wreaths that I've made, I have learned from you guys. So interacting, also me as an introvert, I don't like, I am a homebody, but to me it comes easier to communicate through text, through commenting on a live. Um, I would definitely encourage. Also, I think it's like uh, if you're scrolling and you see somebody that's working, that's hardly getting any interaction, please comment. Please. It's so awkward sometimes to be talking to yourself or just being silent and working. And it's the awkwardest thing. And that's probably one of the only reasons that I really don't like going live, because oftentimes it's like I'm talking to the void in the internet, and it's I don't know if it's because I don't show myself that it makes it harder, or because I don't know. I really don't know.
So here's something. Some people have said sometimes the comments move so fast, even saying hi skips by, so I don't mind being silent. Um, so here's what we're talking about. We're talking about when the creator has nobody commenting, when there's nobody engaging with that person. That's what we're talking about. We're not talking about, and I'm going to use Lindsay for an example. Lindsay has between 2 and 5 to 600 people on her live. She's got plenty of people in there engaging. I'm talking about the times when you have somebody go live and they're creating something and nobody is
And they
communicating,
have like five
nobody is
people
commenting.
there. They have like 5 people there, and not one is saying anything. That is, oh, that's the worst. It truly is, because it's like,
It is.
why did, like, I don't know. I
And just so
find,
you know, if I ever go into somebody's live and nobody's commenting, we're going to have a conversation. It's going to become the Claudia and Cindy show. If I go into Cindy's live and nobody's commenting, well, guess what? I'm going to ask questions, because that is what a community does. We encourage, we uplift, we help them up. I mean, before, just so you know, here's a prime example. I don't even know how many weeks ago it was now. Our friend Needy would go live and she would be creating the most wonderful attachment for a wreath she was making, and nobody would be commenting. In comes Claudia, and I'm like, oh my gosh, what are you doing? Let's talk. That encouraged her. She actually said to me that had I not done that, she was actually thinking live wasn't worth it. That is
yes,
not what we
it can
want for
be
our
very
community.
discouraging. It Not having that interaction is a huge reason why I don't go live, because most of the time when I go live, max I'll have like 10 people in there, and it'll be like crickets, and it's like, it's the most awkwardest thing, because and then to kind of try to carry a conversation, I start oversharing. And I'm like, I don't want to overshare, but I have that tendency to overshare because I'm over here trying to carry a conversation. Me being an introvert, it's even harder for me to carry a conversation. So then I start oversharing and then I'm awkward.
But that's the thing, Cindy, and I've always said this and I will continue to say this to every single one of you. If I, Claudia, your wreath community partner, is available, guess where I'm going to be? I look to see who's live. I look to see who's live, and I go into those lives where there's hardly any engagement, because you know what? Somebody just acknowledging, hey, I'm here. I'm here, I'm watching, I'm listening, and I care about you. Because I think that it's a shame that people try so hard, so hard to get to those 1,000 followers just to promote themselves, because you are your promotion. They try so hard to get to those 1,000 followers, and then they go live, and it's disheartening when you're going live
Yes.
and nobody's watching.
Yes, because reaching the 1,000 first followers is so hard. And then you finally get there and you can actually go live. And then you're like, well, I don't even know if that was worth it because it's just so, it's so disheartening. Yeah, it's like disheartening. Like
It is, because you
it
you think,
discourages
okay,
me.
when you're watching people, right, when they're going live, you're like, that's what I want. I want to be able to go live so that I can promote my business, so that I can have an online presence and people can come and watch me and meet me and get to know me, and then they'll want to buy from me. That's the goal, right? That's what we want. But then we're sitting there oversharing, being awkward, feeling lonely. People are sitting
Yeah,
there.
I'm like,
We might be sent out of people's FYPs, but people are like, what the heck is this? What is happening?
exactly. So I'm like people want to know who you are, and I'm like they're gonna find out I'm the crazy Cindy. I'm the crazy anxiety
It's
riddled
the
like
worst.
literally of anxiety. I'm like I'm
It's
over here oversharing,
the worst.
full of anxiety. They're gonna find out that's the crazy crafty lady over there. I'm like, well, but if they like my stuff, they'll get my stuff. Um, I have a question here on my. I actually have a question here
Okay.
on my site. It's somebody said for someone starting in the craft business, what do you recommend to get the traffic to keep going? Um, I take pictures and videos of everything and I post everywhere. Um, I started off by posting in my local groups here in my town. There was like a lot of trading post groups. So I would literally sometimes felt like I was annoying the people in my community because I would post like every other day. Every other day I would post my stuff and it was just continue posting. There's a neighborhood Facebook group. I would post there at least once a week and say, hey, if anybody needs door hangers, before it was cakes. So I went from the cake lady to the door hanger lady. But just continue posting everywhere. I, if you look back at my old videos or my old photos of the products that I used to do, the lighting isn't great. Uh, my it's just the quality is not there. I'm not saying that it is there now, but it's way better than what I started with. Same goes with my door hangers. Practice taking pictures, practice taking videos. Make sure you get good natural lighting and post everywhere. I'm talking Pinterest, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. Post it every day if you can. One thing I had to learn is that sometimes people don't just want to see the finished product, they want to see the process of it. So you got to record yourself doing that, which I have had several people message me asking me, how did you get to where you're at now? And what I say is, I just would post all the time. But people have told me, well, I'm a crafter. I'm not a social media expert. I'm a crafter. I don't know how to do social media. You have to post what you make if you want to sell it so people can know that you're making it.
So I have a question on this side. Do you post the same things or are you posting new things?
So sometimes when I have days where I don't know what to post, I will post old videos because it's impossible sometimes to be posting. It's recommended for you to post 2 to 3 times in each social media place. I can't. If anything, one per day, two at the most. But most of the time, I recycle old videos and old pictures because, sometimes even when you're making this stuff, you forget. Oh, I was supposed to be recording myself doing this. Well, I'm a time base. I need to finish this door hanger. I need to get out the door as soon as possible, and I forget. I needed to record myself doing it with the camera right here. Sometimes you forget, and that's why the majority of the times I post what's already finished. Hey, I finished it. Look what I did. But people do like the process video, the making. You know what it reminds me of? Like back in the day, there was like this show that would show you like the factories of how they would make crayons or how things were made. And I think I was always attracted to that kind of show. And I think that's what people want to see. They want to see the backstory. How is it made? How do you do what you do? How do you paint? How do you make the wreath? But yeah, I forget. But just keep
But that's
posting.
a good point. That's a good point. So you have to take what attracts you, what you like to see, the things that you like to see, and incorporate it into something that you do and provide for others. That way they remember you. Oh, that's Cindy. She does door hangers, because you have to be out in front of people to the point of nauseam. Think about the commercials you remember, the jingles you remember, the things that you remember because of how many times you saw it. How many
Right.
times was that on repeat to do?
Yeah.
Over here, Mel asks, what do you use to hold your camera phone? Tripods.
I
See, there's a
actually
tripod right
have
there.
I have a tripod that I actually have to fold. It's lopsided because it's like an old one, and I had to fold a little piece of carton so it doesn't look like this. It looks straight. It's just it's just an old little tripod that was like $50 on Amazon. That's what I use. However, I do want to invest on this little stand that they sell on Amazon, but it's like 100 and something dollars, where if it follows you, but also if you shake, it stabilizes it because I
Yep.
suffer from shaky hands. And sometimes my videos are like, it literally looks like I'm like off-roading or something. And
She's having
so,
a panic attack and we're watching it live.
yes, which
No, I
I
get
will
that though.
say, yeah, yeah, it helps the little, I think it does. I've seen people and I really want to invest in that one. But right now I just have a $15 tripod from Amazon.
But you know
But
what?
if
It
you were to
works.
see how, yeah, but if you were to see how I record, I look like when I have to record videos or pictures outside, I swear my front neighbors are probably like, this girl, what is she doing? Because I look like an old lady. Like I'm like this, like I'm like, and I'll be in my bathrobe. I'll be like a hot mess. I look like a hot mess 99% of the time. But you have to get the right angle. You have to look at the
She's like,
natural
whatever
light.
works, whatever works. If I
Yes.
need to be the crazy lady, the talk of the town, where people notice me, even in my bathrobe taking my videos, that's what I'm going to do. Because how you get noticed doesn't matter. Think about the things that go viral. Has anybody ever thought about the videos or the stuff that they post and you're like, that went viral? People wanted to see that? That's weird to me.
Yeah.
But it happens, right? It
Yeah.
happens.
Yeah.
All right. So here's something that we also talked about in our pre-interview. You said that when people do ask you, how do you do what you do? They have said things to you such as, I'm a crafter, I'm not a salesperson, I don't know how to do social media. Like, what is something that you say to that person, and how do you encourage that?
I currently have a friend who might be on this live that is wanting to go full time with being a woodcrafter, a door hanger maker. I did not get to where I'm at in Rome wasn't built in a day. I didn't have the following that I have right now overnight. I did not get that. I wish, but it was, I have like, I think 40 something. It
Oh,
took
we're
me, I've been
aware.
doing this
We
since
are aware.
2017. Yeah, it
You
took
have a
me
large
many years
following.
to, yeah, I'm thankful for every follow. But it takes a while to get there. Um, and it didn't happen overnight. It's a learning process. Take my advice is always take 1,000 pictures, take 1,000 videos, because you have to have something to share. You have to have something to share. People are not going to know that you're even making these things. Like I literally, I had to get mad at my friend because I went to his business Facebook page. He made 3 Christmas door hangers. Christmas door hangers. Hadn't posted anything. And I'm like, dude, why haven't you posted this stuff? Nobody's gonna know that you have these Christmas items if you don't post it. Well, it's because I don't think they'll sell, or I don't think the price, because where he lives, you also have to know your area, your community. He's like, I can't sell the door hangers that you sell for the price that you sell them for. Nobody's gonna buy them here. You also have to know your area. So yes, he does have to sell them for cheaper, because that's just, unless he goes online on Etsy or on his own website where he can ship them out. But you have to know your community. You have to know what price ranges you are able to do. Now, if you do an Etsy, you also do have to include the shipping, the boxes, and all of that stuff. So obviously the price is going to go up if you order online. If you're local, you have to know what price ranges you can do. So people a lot of times get discouraged because they post something and there's no bite. But continue posting. I mean, it's so easy to give up. It's so easy to give up because you're your worst enemy. You're telling yourself it's not good enough, it could be better. You compare yourself to other people, and it's so easy to just be like, I'm out. But y'all, I would highly recommend for you, first of all, you have to believe in yourself. You have to be, instead of being your worst critic, be your biggest supporter so that you can have the confidence to post. And you have to love what you do. You have to love what you do. And just, I don't know. I feel like I'm over. I'm
No, you're
over.
fine. You're fine. And I wanted you to finish that because that would be something. If you sat with Cindy and you're like, Cindy, what am I doing? How, I'm struggling, this, that, and the other. She is telling you basically what she had to do. She had to believe in herself. She had to put herself out there. She had to learn. It's trial and error, guys. If something's not working, change it. Change what you're doing. Get classes.
Also, I would like to say, at least I did. I don't know if other people do, but there could be, um, do not feel guilty in changing direction in your business. I was a cake maker. I got burned out on it. There could have been other reasons why other people choose to quit what they're doing. Maybe they're not getting any sales. Maybe they keep posting and they're not getting anything. It is okay, and do not feel guilty of changing the trajectory of your business completely. I literally went from being a cake maker, from being in the kitchen, to being in the garage full of sawdust. Completely different.
I love that.
And don't feel guilty. If you're a wreath maker and you're not really feeling it, you rather do wreath attachments, do what
Do
makes
it.
you happy.
Yep.
Do what makes you happy.
All right, I've
Because
got
if
I've
you're
got a
your
couple
own,
of questions, friend. I've got a couple
okay.
of questions. Okay, I was asked if we both did this full time. You go ahead and share, and then I'll share. Do you both do this full
So
time was the question.
I do door hangers and wreaths full time. This is what I do full time.
And I actually have a full-time job that I work every day and then look forward to when I get off at 4:15 so that I can go build what is currently a side hustle into more of a sustainable business for myself. And she's been in business doing what she's doing today since 2017, which is so inspiring to me because I just opened my business in April of this year. So there's the difference.
Wow.
But let me tell you, a lot of my success that I have had in my business has to do with this community and what I have learned from others in this community. And because I am a pain in the butt and I'm a go-getter and I'm like, okay, that didn't work. I'm going to try this.
But I feel like also your skill of communication is very important. And I feel like people like me that I'm not a really good communicator because if I do, I overshare. I feel like people like me can struggle when it comes to sharing their work and growing their business because you're an introvert, you're not really a people person, and then you're expected to post your stuff and sell it and that could be hard. I feel like it's still hard, but I feel like it comes just so much easier to you guys that can communicate with people so much better. Because
What's
there's
funny,
that.
okay, but what's funny is that's your perception, right? Because of your struggles and what you have a hard time with. There's also the other side where you are a good communicator, however you feel unheard. Because that's
Okay.
because there's that aspect of it too. Today I posted on FB the frustration that I have with these algorithms. It is so frustrating to because you can see your data, you can see the analytics. Now, mind you, I am not an analytical person. However, it's crazy to me that you post like you do, you see how many people view your post, and then you only get one or two likes. How hard is it for
Right.
you to hit that like button? It costs you nothing.
Nothing. Right.
Zero. But do you understand that by hitting that like what it does to that person's algorithm? It literally
It's free.
launches them out. It tells that platform that this content is being seen and people are hitting that like button and we need to share this out. Do you know what you could do for a small business just by hitting that like?
Yeah.
If you don't
Mm-hmm.
know, then let me tell you the
Yeah.
difference that you can make just hitting that like. Try it. See what happens to those businesses that you intentionally say, I might not watch the full video, okay? I might not even agree with what they're doing, but I know they're hustling because I see them out there all the time. Hit that dang like button. Oh, and by
Yep.
commenting, it's an even greater throw out by the algorithms.
It could be a
So,
little
guys,
emoji heart. It could be a little
be
emoji heart. It could,
Be the
yeah.
community. Help each other.
Yeah.
Be the person that's always commenting. Be the person that's always out there supporting your community. Because let me tell you something, the things you do for others will come back to you. It's just a fact. It's a
Mm-hmm.
universal fact. You be kind and thoughtful to others, it will come back to you. Okay, so that's my mama bear situationship with all the people that are out here hustling. I am in your corner. You will be seeing likes and comments from Claudia ad nauseum. You keep posting, I'll keep liking. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to encourage every single one of you. All right, any questions on your side?
Uh, no. There's so many in their little area who does the same and sells the same product. Um, okay, so I think what they're asking if there's like a if there's like a lot of people in your area that are selling the same thing.
They're not
Um,
you. They're not you.
yeah, yes, I will say that. It, everybody can try to copy or imitate. Listen, that I used to get messages from people saying so and so copied you, so and so did this, so and so did that. I'll be honest, at the beginning it would bother me. But I'm like, you know what? Let them try to make it. Everybody has their own technique when it comes to painting. Um, I like to do a border around my door hangers. It's kind of like it looks kind of like
It's your
checkered.
signature.
Um,
It's your signature.
yes, I like to do it. Like not everybody could do it, but now it's kind of like the best analogy that I could try to say. Do not compare yourself to anybody. Uh, you know those like blinders that they put on like the horses? That's what I recommend people to do. You looking at other people is distracting you from growing yourself. Plain and simple. I just
You
feel
should
like
only
if you
be
put the
in
blinders, no,
competition. You should only be in
with
competition with
yourself.
you. And you
Yes.
should only be criticizing, like don't criticize others either, guys. That
Mhm.
person that's out there doing the thing, they're learning. They're learning. Don't criticize, uplift, encourage. Tell them that they can do whatever they practice. Guys, it takes a lot of practice to develop a skill, period.
Mhm.
And surround
Mhm.
yourself. Surround yourself with inspirational, uplifting, supportive people. If you surround yourself
Yes.
with negative people, you're not going to do well. You're not. You're
Yes.
just
And
not going to do
honestly,
well.
I have two friends, two really good friends here in my town that also do door hangers. And we are in constant communication with each other. We have each other's backs. If somebody sends them a message with, if I get a message with somebody else's picture and it's my friend's, hey, go to her. That's her picture. She can make that for you, and we do that with each other all the time, all the time. Uh, I am a firm believer in community over competition. Um, I'll be honest, at the beginning, I did not know how to handle that because I would get so many messages. So and so's doing this, so and so's doing that. And at the beginning you're like, oh, like I'm trying so hard to grow, and then other people are over here like copying. It does not matter. See it as a compliment now. But I will say that at the beginning, I was guilty of it. It would bother me. But
But
I guess
that's
that's why it took me a while to
natural.
grow.
Cindy,
I think it
wouldn't you
is.
say
I think
that's
it is.
natural? And it's part of
I think it
growing,
is.
right? It's part of growing. It's part of saying to yourself, you know what? I did something that somebody saw value in and they wanted to do it themselves. Because how often have any of us, and I'm talking because we're a creative community, how many of, if any of us have seen something in the store that was way out of our price range? Like there is no way that I can afford blankety blank, but I think I can make something similar. I think I can make something that I'll like similar. And then you go do it. Okay.
Yeah.
That doesn't take away A, the value of the thing that you can't afford. And B, it doesn't take away from you making it yourself. So we have to see it, but always try to make it your own. Always try to do something that makes it yours. And I'm sorry, but my something shouldn't be like, oh, that looks like Cindy's. Because you know what? That makes you look like an unoriginal. Who wants to be unoriginal? I don't want somebody looking at my
Well,
stuff and saying, that looks like so
I
and
feel
so.
like I get inspiration from so many things. And I feel like we all get inspiration from so many things. And you can be inspired by somebody, and that's okay. Or give credit to the person. Hey, I was inspired by this person. Here's a tag. Here's this person so that you can go see what they do. And that's another thing that you could do. Like if you're gonna get inspired by somebody, give that person the credit, you know. And I'm sure that
And
person got it from somebody else. And
that's just part of being in a community. That's part of how you
mhm.
keep people happy and not try to constantly, like, I don't want people to feel uncomfortable with each other. I don't want people to be mad at each other. I don't want people to be annoyed with each other. Like, that's not necessary. If we have communication, if we have collaboration, if we like say, okay, I'm going to make this because I saw this being done. Like, how many times did you guys watch me do something Courtney did because that's who inspired me? And I always say, hey, I saw Courtney do this, or I saw this person do this, or I saw that person do this. Because you know what? They're teaching you. When they're making tutorials, they're teaching you. Right? And
Yeah.
thank you for the tutorials. Shout out to everybody who makes tutorials. Thank you. Thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We're going to shift gears. If
Yes.
there's no questions on your side, we're going to shift gears really quick.
No, I don't think I see any. Thank you, Ana Maria. Thank you. I did have
Okay.
somebody say earlier that they didn't watch my lives because I mean they didn't watch my stuff because I wasn't showing the process and it started getting boring and she's like, "Now I'm going to start watching your stuff."
Okay, so there it is. There it is, guys. She just said it. And guys, we want to hear stuff like that. We want to hear, hey, what do you want to see? We are here promoting ourselves and we want you to watch. What do you want to see?
Yes.
What can we
Yes.
do to not only, because I mean, for a lot of us, this is taken over TV. I don't watch TV like I used to. I watch what is
Yes.
going to inspire me, which is all of you. So we want you to know that we're not going to continue to be out here doing our thing if you're not interested in watching it.
Yes.
So there you go. And somebody said constructive criticism is good.
Yes.
Always be
Thank you, Ana
thoughtful.
Maria. Thank
Yeah,
you.
always be
That was
thoughtful.
that
All right,
was
guys. So we're pivoting here a little bit because I am thrilled to share this. If you did not know, Cindy has a private group, guys. She
yeah.
actually has a subscription group that she does where she teaches people how to do what she does. So let's talk a little bit about that. So when did you start your group?
So I started it in July of this year. It's still like a new group where I teach how to do two door hangers per month. I do the design, I upload the files so that they can download them. And if you do not have a laser like I do, you can also cut it with the scroll saw like I used to do it before I had a laser, or you can also stencil some of them. There are a few projects there that we have done that do require for you to buy a wood cutout letters that you can get at the craft store, but I try to make it to where you can either use it as a stencil or you can use a scroll saw or a laser like I do. So those are the three things that I would recommend having. If my group is for people that want to learn how to make door hangers and do it as a business. I try to make designs that I know or that I feel that are going to be like good sellers. It's worked for me because every time that I post something that I make for my group, it sells so quick. So
See?
I try to make something that's going to be profitable for them, you know.
Okay,
I do
so
also do
do
like
you
a craft.
do you share
I'm sorry.
like how many members you currently have?
I think right now it's a tiny group. I think right now I have like 40 people in there.
Okay.
But yes, so I have about 40 people in there right now. I do get a lot of people that ask for the invite, but it is a paid subscription. That's a monthly paid subscription that you have to pay through PayPal. And a lot of people don't click that link that's in the about section that tells you step by step what to do. And so I unfortunately have to decline, but tell them this is the link, this is how you can get into it.
Do
I
you
do
want to
also do
share
like
how
a
much? How much is your
it's
monthly
25.
subscription?
So it's 25 per month. It's 25 per month. And I also do a craft per month. But lately I was getting messages from the people in my group saying, we want to learn how to do a wreath. Teach us how to do a wreath. So I've done two wreaths, a floral one, which for me, florals are my nemesis. I am trying really hard with the florals. Uh, I'm more of a pick kind of person, but not floral picks. So I did a floral wreath and I did a pick wreath in my group. So I guess from now on, I'm just going to be doing like one wreath per month because people have been asking, and the two door hangers per month there.
And
It started
that's
off with just
on,
a crowd
but that's on
on the
FB,
book
right?
of
That's on,
business.
okay.
Yes.
Okay. So that's over on, I'm going to say it, Facebook. You heard it here.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's over on that platform that she does have a private group. So anybody can join. You don't have to have any skills to join.
Yeah, you don't have to have any skills. It is beginner friendly, but it is for people that want to do door hangers and want to try to make it as a business. Or if you want to just craft and do things for your family and give them away as gifts. You can also do that. But I do like little tips and tricks here that I've learned along the way as well.
That's what I was going to ask. So what kind of, just a basic, what kind of tips and tricks, not the details of it, but like like what kinds of tips
For
and tricks do you
instance,
share?
like video and picture taking, the hardware that I use, things like that.
Somebody asked, how do you get connected with wholesalers?
With wholesalers, like for the wreaths.
Well, for your
Well, because I
supplies, wholesale supplies,
okay,
because
so
if you're a business, you charge tax,
mhm.
because that's part of
Right.
owning a business
So
is we have to pay tax.
I online would be the best thing. Now I cut my own wood. I don't A lot of people outsource their wood. I do not. I still cut my own wood. I do it for a reason because of my dad. And even if I were to buy a machine that can cut it, I would still cut it at 23.5 inches. Um, Online would be the best place. I don't have any wholesalers here locally, unfortunately. So I have to do everything online. Everything online. Um, I don't really, for my door hangers, I don't really have wholesalers for my door hangers. I don't really require,
Yeah,
um,
let me answer truly blessed one really quick. Several creators always have a link in their profile and they share in there where they buy their supplies. I would recommend that if there is somebody that you are watching that's a creator that is creating and you're like, okay, I want to know where they buy their stuff, go there first. Go click there first. There are companies that are actually, there are wholesalers that sell the supplies and they sell to the public. Other wholesalers actually don't sell to the public, and you have to have a resale license in order to buy from. So definitely do your research as far as that's concerned, but several creators do have who they shop from in their profiles, just to let you know.
I I currently don't have that. I guess I should do that. I don't currently have all those shops where I normally buy like my wreath stuff. I don't. I don't have that on my links.
But but most of us do. That's all I'm saying. So if you're watching somebody and you ask, like people always ask, I mean, it's everybody wants to know, hey, where'd you get your stuff? Everybody. So you just heard from Cindy that she actually cuts her own wood, which means that she buys the wood at anywhere else that you would buy your wood and she herself cuts it. So she doesn't have somebody supplying that for her. So that's the difference there. All right. So we've touched on a lot of things, Miss Cindy. Is there anything that's come up that you want to share about in addition to the things we've talked
Um,
about?
Let me see if I have a question. Um, Somebody asked, what are my good sellers? So my best seller of door hanger is the lemon door hanger. The lemon door hanger and the teacher door hanger are my two most sold, my most popular door hangers. Also, my pencil post is my most popular. The one that looks like a big pencil for the teachers. So I would say that one, that's a tutorial that I have on my Etsy. Um, but the teacher door hanger and the lemon door hangers are my most popular ones. Please
All right.
show
I
where
just had
there's.
somebody say, I would like to know more about wholesalers. And I'm like, so I am going live next week on my own, and I've made a list of things that you guys are asking about, and I'm going to answer them to the best of my ability. So that's going to be something that I'll bring up next week. But Cindy has already said that she really doesn't use wholesalers or anything like that for her stuff. So yeah, so we're not gonna address this here. Not that the question or the answer isn't important, because all questions are important. So just know that. So everybody typically at the end of the year does an analysis, right? We look back over our year and we see the areas that we've grown and we see the areas that we're still working on and struggling with. You want to share some of your successes this year, like things that you've learned that have been successful?
So my biggest success this year was starting with the wreaths because so after Christmas, Hobby Lobby normally has like a sale. And last year, after Christmas, I would always watch. So last year, I was kind of in bed for like a month. I was sick and I kept watching everybody's lives. And I was like, I want to do that. And I remember that I was motivating myself that I was like, when I get better, like when you get sick and you can't breathe through your nose and you're like, I took for granted breathing through my nose. And so when I was in bed, I was like, when I get better, I'm going to make a wreath. I'm going to make a wreath. I'm going to go and I'm going to get the stuff. So when I went to go get the wreath, I was like, oh my God, they're on sale. They're like $5 each. Or I don't even remember how much it was, but they were like ridiculously low on price. So I was like, should I just buy one? And I remember calling my best friend and she's like, buy more, because once you make one, you're not going to be able to stop. Just buy more. So she was the one that encouraged me to buy. It was like 25 of them or 25 or 24 of them. And so I filled my cart with them and I made my first wreath in January of this year. It took me like 3 days to make it because I had no idea what I was doing. And when I posted it, it was like, oh, I want to wreath. So that to me was my biggest accomplishment. The fact that I was scared to try. I didn't believe in myself. My friend had to encourage me. And I took the jump and I did it by buying a whole bunch of evergreen wreath forms. And I didn't even know if anybody was going to buy them. And that to me was my biggest accomplishment this year, that I sold all of them and more. That to me, it's a new skill that I never even thought I was going to get into.
So let's touch on each point there, okay? And this is for all you newbies, all the people that are just starting. She did it scared, okay? She had somebody encouraging her. What does Claudia always say? You only need one person that has your back, that will support you, encourage you, push you through the hard times. And 3, here she is at the end of the year, and that's a praise and a hallelujah. She did it scared.
Yes.
She did it scared.
I did it. Yes. Yes.
Okay. So that was your huge accomplishment this year. From the outside looking in, being that we've basically been on a similar journey as far as like the beginnings of, TikTok and everything else. You said that that was a huge accomplishment. I say that you going live was a huge accomplishment. I would say that being open to listening to what others want to see is a huge accomplishment. I would say that when you posted your video of your cart full of wreaths and people questioned why you use an evergreen wreath for your wreaths because you can't even see the green, I think the way that you handled that with such poise and grace and professionalism, I mean, seriously, that is huge because it was and then of course all the material that spewed from that, like I never knew I'd be controversial. But that was material.
I was like, why would I lie about using an evergreen wreath form? I never knew they were so controversial. And I was I even got to like question myself. I'm like, wait, no, why am I questioning myself? I literally see my friends go live and use these things. Like, stop questioning yourself. But I will say that video that got a lot of views, that was an old video since September. It was an old post and suddenly it started getting traction, but it helped me because I was like sleep deprived. I was trying to stay awake to try to finish my orders, and that was keeping me entertained because I was like, okay, I need a 5-minute break. And I would go and I would laugh. I was laughing at the situation because I just thought it was ridiculous. So,
well, it's different people's ideas of what a wreath should look like. I love the way that you use maximalist or I don't even know how to say the word, But that's the kind of creator you are. You need a sturdy base to do all the things.
Yes. I tried to come up with a word, and I follow this girl here on TikTok who is a maximalist decorator. She's a crafter, and I love her style. And so I'm like, I think that's what I am, because I put a lot of stuff on my stuff, even on my wreaths. They're busy. They're just real busy, and I like, that's just my style. So the best way that I was able to describe it is maximalist, because I put too much in there. And it's not for everybody, and I totally get that, but everybody has their own style. Like, everybody decorates their home a different way. That's their style. And this is just my style.
Okay, so on the opposite spectrum of looking back at your year to see your successes, are there areas that you feel you can share you're going to be looking into to improve?
Time management. I need to improve. Yes. Balancing home life, homeschool, and the business. It's really hard when you work and you're at home all day. I'm literally doing school, I'm doing housework, I'm doing business all in the same place. And I only leave my house to buy supplies or buy food or whatever. But I'm here the majority of the time, yet my time management to everything is sometimes crazy. And that's what I want to improve on: balancing home life, school, and work. Because I'll be honest, fourth quarter, everything in the house gets neglected. And y'all don't even want to see my craft room right now, because it's got like this much of just like the scraps of ribbon that you cut off at the very end, like a thick layer of this
You
everywhere.
mean where you dovetail?
Where I've dovetailed, like this much of glitter everywhere. I mean, my craft room is normally messy, but during fourth quarter, it just gets crazy. And what I want to improve in personally with my business is time management, to learn how to say, I have to step away and I have to take care of myself, because fourth quarter, unfortunately, it gets to a point where the anxiety attacks start happening more often. And I just have to love myself enough to say, this is another thing that I wanted to touch on, but I don't know. It might just be me, but sometimes when I get sick, I'm like a huge baby. Like, when I get sick, I'm like a man. Like, you know how they say that men, like, they're just like, I'm
Man sick.
dying.
There's
That's
no sick like man sick. Yeah.
but I can compete with that. I can compete with that, because when I get sick, I get really, really, really sick, and I have to be in bed, and the guilt of, I should be working right now. I need to take care of these orders because they need to ship out in 3 days. And here I am laying down. I suffer from feeling guilty of being sick. And I hate that about myself, but it is what it is. I want to try to improve on that too.
But there it is. Right now, I'm sure that's Greg, because he said, hold up, ladies, them are fighting words. And everybody's laughing in my chat because Greg said that. But I think that you nailed it by saying it's that guilt. It's that feeling of guilt, because every man that I know, is when they're sick, it's like, ooh, they've pushed themselves to that point, which is what we do to ourselves too. If we are sick where we can't get out of bed, is because we've already done too much. We've already gone too far. So that's why they say, if you take care of yourself prior to when you have that, when you get sick, it's better for you. So saying no to things, giving yourself a cutoff time. I work until this time. Okay. So I was going to ask you, what tools are you going to have in place that will help you manage time better? There you go. There it is. There it is. She just went that way.
I'm going to try to use my phone alarm to just kind of, hey, you need a break. You need to you need to step away because I am a night owl. I can be up till 5 o'clock in the morning, but I'm gonna have to wake up at 9 and start homeschooling till 1 or 2 in the afternoon, and then I can be in my craft room all day. Like if I didn't have the responsibility of a child, if I didn't have the responsibility of anything else, I could live in my craft room happy as can be, and stay there all day every day. And I can probably say that I am a workaholic because I am there all the time. I am hardly ever anywhere else in this house but my craft room or this room. Um, I want to use my phone as a set reminder, hey, you need to step away, because I do also have that guilt, like since my son's here all day, he'll be in there. Mom, can we watch a movie? I can't right now. I can't. I need to do this. And there's that mom guilt that I can't take. And then, sometimes a lot of people are like,
Look at
you
me,
make your own schedule.
friend, look at me. Look at me. And I say this with so much love in my heart for you. Your son is only going to want those things from you for a very short period of time. You can make the thing later. Cherish those moments. Try doing yes days. Have you guys seen that movie where
I
parents
haven't
decided,
actually.
where parents decided to say yes to every single one of their child's requests for one entire day?
Oof.
I I wouldn't go that far, but seriously though, your
Mhm.
child is only that small for a very short period of time. So you need to say yes to that baby that wants to spend time with you. And you know what?
Mhm.
It's not really going to take any more time from you. And we don't realize that. So give yourself an accountability person. Someone that's going to speak life into you when you're struggling, when you're sitting there with those negative thoughts, beating yourself up because you
Yeah.
didn't do the thing. You're again back into the same pattern that you tried to break. Please have
Yeah.
somebody that you can say, I need you to fill my cup. I need you to help me change this negative perspective. I need you to help me change the trajectory that my brain's already beating myself up. Don't beat yourself up, friends. Do not beat yourself up. Don't let your brain win. Have that person that you can call that says to you, Cindy, you're okay. You're fine. Thank you for reaching out. That right there is different than anything you would have ever done. Stop beating yourself up and try again. You'll be okay. And then the patterns will break. But stop beating yourselves up, friends. Do not beat yourselves up. And if it's not working, if whatever you're trying, give it a few weeks. Give it a few
Yeah.
weeks, okay? Don't just try something and say, oh, I failed 3 days later. Well, yeah, you're going to fail because you have a habit and you have to
Yeah.
break that habit. But if something doesn't work, change it. Change
Yeah.
whatever's not working, but don't beat yourself up and spend time with your babies. I have two grown babies, and let me tell you something. I do not regret one single time that I did for them when they said, "Hey, mom, can you watch a movie with me?" So
Yeah.
do that for your.
Oh,
You
it's
will feel
it's
so
it's
much
the
better.
biggest guilt.
You will feel so much better.
I
All
know.
right.
I know.
Any questions on your side?
Let me see. No, I don't have any questions. Yeah, but people are saying family time is important. It is. It is. And that's my biggest thing. Time management. I do consider myself a workaholic, and because like I said, I love what I do. I love what I
I
do, and
know.
I could do it
It
all day,
shows.
every day. And my problem is stopping because, um, yeah, it gets.
You
I
know
could be in
what?
there all day.
Cindy, here's an idea. Take a notebook with you and sit it next to you with a pen, not your phone, a notebook with a pen. When you're watching a movie and an idea drops in, open the book, write it down, put the pen down. Keep watching the movie. Let me
Yeah.
tell you something. That A continues the ideas to just fall when they fall because that's how it happens. Okay, but you're still present in that moment with your loved one.
Mhm. Yeah.
That's huge.
Yes.
Huge. And they'll remember that.
And that's because I do get a lot of inspiration from movies and things like that. So
Duh, I can tell.
yeah.
I can
Yeah.
totally tell. Okay, people have been asking you to show some things. Do you have anything currently that you have that you can show?
I do have like I let me show you one that I did in my private group.
Guys, she's
This
been
one,
sitting on the floor the whole time. Look how cute she is. I think I
yeah.
just fell in
I'm
love
a
with you more. I think I just
I'm
fell
a
in love
floor
with you
person.
more.
I'm a floor person. I love
I
sitting on the
love
floor.
that. Oh,
Yeah.
okay, show us. Show us your work.
So I did this with my group. It says, "Oh, what fun!" And it looks like cookies. I
Oh
made
my
it look like
gosh,
cookies
it
and frosting.
does.
I made it look like frosting on the
Yeah,
edge.
you
So
did.
this is the first time that I feel like I incorporated me being a like a cake maker with a door hanger. So I really loved this door hanger because it felt like I was doing a little bit of cake work with the frosting and the sprinkles. So I really love this one, and I kept this one for myself because I just loved it. So, and I think next year I may go with the gingerbread cookie kind of theme for my Christmas, so that's why I'm keeping this one. But yeah,
Yay!
this is one of the
That's
door hangers that I love.
fantastic. I absolutely love that. And can I just ask you, because I know I'm going to be asked, the look of that. I've seen I snippets. Now, mind you, I follow you guys all, but there's too many of you for me to be like, because I learn from so much. But you use like everyday stuff, like stuff that isn't normally used for crafting, you use in order to make that, don't you?
Yeah, this one's spackle. It's like spackle and
See?
it dries hard. It dries hard. And then I used I used glitter, and I also used some of the what do you call the sprinkles that are made out of that clay? No, wait, polymer clay. Is it polymer clay?
Okay,
But
but
yeah, it has glitter.
do you paint it after it's on there?
No, you mix it. You mix it first. Like you would frosting. Like you color the frosting with food coloring, you're doing the same thing with acrylic paint in this. Yeah, so you mix it first.
See,
But
look
yeah.
at that. That is fantastic. These are things that your friend Cindy is actually has a group that she's teaching. She's teaching
Mhm.
these things in her group. How amazing is that? Now, how long does it take to dry? Just curious.
So I let it dry for 24 hours, but I did add the little fake sprinkles. I did add them while it was still like soft, so they can like kind of like glue into the spackle, so they won't
Is it
come
like a
off.
cement that when it dries, it just adheres, everything adheres together?
Yeah, but
So you don't have to
it still
glue?
remains a no, no, but you do spray it with UV coating and it kind of glues it all to it, like sets
Gotcha.
it from prevents it
Gotcha.
from falling.
Oh, that's fantastic. Everybody over here thinks it's wonderful. It's beautiful.
Ah,
We just got a
thank you.
question. Mel, she is from Odessa, Texas, and I'm in right outside of Nashville, Tennessee, since you asked where we were both from.
Oh, I would love to go to Tennessee.
You can come anytime, girlfriend. I'm here and I'm very happy to host anybody who wants to come. Candy just asked if you spray any clear on her boards. I think she just said she uses a
Yeah,
UV protectant. So she
UV
does. She
protectant.
does spray
Yeah.
her stuff.
Now I spray my stuff with matte. I always tell everybody that asks me, I do not like glossy paint, acrylic paint, or anything. So my finish is always matte. That's just my personal preference. So it's always a matte finish on my door hangers. Thank you.
All right, any questions? Anybody? People are in love with your decorating, your tree, everything that they see behind you. Guys, if you don't know, she has several posts sharing all the stuff that she's done. So these are all things that she has shared posts. She's shared, like my favorite, by the way, just so you know, because I love pink, is the background that you did. I was
Oh
like,
yeah.
that is fantastic. And you even said that that's going to have dual purpose, that you're actually going to be using it for Valentine's as well. So did anybody
Yes.
ever think of using the green with the Grinch type theme? Because it's amazing. It's
So I
amazing.
have a friend named Molly, and we were kind of conversating together. She was like, I want to add pink to my tree. And so I sent her a door hanger with a pink, um, the theme is pink and green. So I sent her a door hanger and a post, and I was like, I think I'm gonna do pink too. That I want to add pink, but I didn't know which shade of pink. So I
Right.
just kind of went all over the place because there's like magenta pink, there's light pink, baby pink. But originally for my backdrop, I was gonna do a piece of cloth. I still have the piece of cloth, and I was just gonna kind of like hang it, but it didn't look right. I didn't like the way it looked, so then I just ordered that thing.
It didn't give you the over the top feeling you were going for.
Yeah, yeah.
That
And I'm keeping it for
maximalist
Valentine's.
that
Yeah.
maximalist decorator that you do. That is so fantastic. All right, girl.
And
So
I will
what?
say that
Go ahead.
because people are like, well, what does the rest of your house look like? I am a recovering beige white mom because my entire house is white. All the walls are white. There's not even a gray, and there's this one's like gray and white, but my sofas are white. Everything is white everywhere. So I'm slowly trying to redecorate and add color because this is the only room other than my craft room that has color.
That's amazing. And I understand the recovering part. Right now, my house has all earth tones in it, like every wall, like you can even see here, green and beige, and I'm over it. Like it's time. We want to paint all the walls, but we want to do a neutral color so then I can accent it with brighter stuff. Because
Yeah.
that to me looks amazing. I love the bright accents, but I need a neutral kind of same color throughout. I have too many colors in my house. So I have the opposite problem. I have the opposite problem. It's so bad. All right. How in the world do you manage to
Yeah.
keep white sofas clean is what the question from Candy is.
They are white leather IKEA sofas, and since it's leather, it's like really easy to clean. Um, we hardly ever use them. I'll be honest.
There.
Everybody is like in their own room, and so I'm in my craft room all the time. We rarely use the sofas from the living room, but they're leather, so they're easy to clean.
There you go. So that's how you keep white sofas clean. And it's one of those things that there's always an area in somebody's house where it's like that's like the adult room where if somebody comes over, that's where you host.
Yes.
So there's always that room in people's houses. But like Cindy said, she lives in her craft room. She's a workaholic. She needs to learn balance. So maybe the couch will be used more often. Who knows?
Yeah,
Who knows?
I hope so.
But regardless of the fact, guys, this has been an amazing time with Miss Cindy. I had a comment with, "Oh my goodness, she's so cute." People
Oh,
don't know just how adorable you are and how kind-hearted you are, and they so want to know you. So I encourage you to continue going live, girl. And because we talked about it, friends, when you go into somebody's live and nobody's talking to that person, you be that person. You be that
yeah,
person in the community that talks
yeah.
to the creator, that sends messages, that has a conversation so that they don't feel awkward. I mean, I think it's Laurel's the one that says that she feels like a crazy person talking to herself whenever there's nobody in there. She
I
feels like the crazy
overshare.
person. And then
I
Cindy
overshare.
and then Cindy shared about oversharing because she feels awkward. So she overshares. Guys, don't let our friends that are out here going live that are so brave clicking that button, don't let them be alone. Participate in the conversation. Let them know that you're there. click that. Be a tapper. Be a tapper. Be a person that sits there and taps. It helps the person creating. It shows the algorithm. It's such a bad word in my head. Oh my gosh. It helps the algorithm. It shoots people out to the shoppers, to people who want to get to know the creator and buy from them. Okay. We have somebody in the community that we know had reached 150,000 people watching him recently. Okay, he's 10,000 or more above that now, but that's how it happened. And he's been featured on the local news all because he said, because somebody asked him, have you ever been on the news? And he goes, well, that's a goal of mine. And like literally it happened within a couple of weeks.
Manifested it. You manifested it.
It's true. But that's what being part of a community is we take care of each other. We support one another. We are there for each other. And for the love of everything holy, when you see somebody posting, please just hit like. If that's all you can do, just hit like. And if you love that person enough, comment. Anything. I love it. Yeah. It's great. It looks wonderful. But there's also, and this is the other crazy part, which I'm about to blow everybody's mind. Do not over like stuff, because then you're a spammer and it puts the person that you're hitting like. It basically makes it's the opposite effect. So don't like more than 3 things at any given time on any given day. Like if you haven't liked anything, just do 3 things a day. Don't do it all in one sitting, because it does the opposite. And a lot of people don't know that. Algorithms stink. Yeah. Who thinks algorithms stink? They're awful. And the rules are awful. Good. And nobody tells people that. People don't know that. People just don't know that that's part of it. So that's what I try to do, is educate.
And now we're competing with TikTok Shop, because almost everything I see now is TikTok Shop. So we're competing with TikTok Shop, which is now like mini Amazon. And so we're over here, small crafters who may or may not be on TikTok Shop, but we're competing with basically a mini Amazon in this app.
And TikTok will always promote TikTok Shop over us. And what's crazy is you don't even have to have 1,000 followers. If you have TikTok Shop, you go live.
Yes.
It is not a fun world out here for us. We have been hustling. We have been hustling for a very long time. So it's frustrating, but at the same time, TikTok Shop is not really geared towards wreath makers. A lot of their rules for TikTok Shop is not geared towards us, because a lot of people are like, okay, so why don't you have a TikTok Shop if that's the way to go and this is your platform you're on? 30-day money back guarantee, no questions asked, makes no sense for what we do. Yep. We can't send out a wreath thinking the person on the other end is gonna keep it beyond, because they could be, so they could keep it for a month and then send it back and get another one. That doesn't work for wreaths. What if you're a smoker? Sorry guys, the wreath comes back. I can't resell it. I can't reuse it. I can't send it out. That's it. Can't do it. It's not designed for us. No, it doesn't work. It works for those that are doing different things. Absolutely. But for us, it doesn't work. So that's why we don't do it.
Right.
Doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I'm not on it. And I'm not planning on joining either, because I just think it's a little too much. Now I do like supporting people that make t-shirts, sweatshirts, things like that. I do like supporting them, but I feel like right now people that are not on TikTok Shop, that are small creators, that are small crafting businesses, we are competing with TikTok Shop, and it's hard.
We are. So it just adds another caveat to our thing. That's why we have to be supportive of one another. That's why we need to learn how we can actually be beneficial to one another and actually help each other. All right, friend, I'm going to ask you to take your wonderful phone and bring us closer to your tree and show us the things that you made, because everybody's asking. They want to see it closer.
Okay.
Remember, she's a
Let me
little
get.
shaky, so hold on, guys. She's going to bring us with her over to her tree so we can ooh and ah
Okay.
her wonderfulness.
Okay, so a lot of people call my bow maker and they say that it looks like a medieval torture device, but it helps me make those it helps me make those bows because I cannot freehand those bows. My hands cramp up too much. So I use my medieval looking bow maker to make the bows. And so yeah, this is my tree. And I have tutorials on how to make like this lollipop that I made. Well, wait. I think you can see it better right here. This lollipop, I have a tutorial on how to do this lollipop. I have a tutorial on how to make this little ornament here. I have a tutorial on how to make this little Grinch yarn. It's like made out of yarn. I have a tutorial on how to make this. What else? Oh, on how to
You
make the
know,
bow. This bow right
you
here.
know how they say TikTok made me do it?
Yeah,
I have a confession. I bought the tool you shared to do that with the yarn. I
really?
bought the tool, yeah. And I told myself I'm going to learn how to do that before next season so that I can actually create personalized things for my
Yeah.
wreaths. But I did buy the tool that you shared. So Cindy made me do it, not TikTok. Cindy made me do it. But
Oh, that's so
that's
funny.
one of my
It's
goals.
fun. I think
It
it's
looks
fun.
fun.
It's a fun little project.
It
Yeah.
looks fun, and
It's
I'm hoping I can get my husband involved in possibly bending the wire to the words because that was genius too. And showing how you do
yeah,
that, I was like, genius, I can do that.
yeah. The wire that I use. It's really easy to bend, so it's super easy.
All right, so anything that we need to look forward to or that we're gonna look forward to from Cindy from Timber Crafts, like what's coming up for you? What are you gonna be working on?
My goal is to start making more wreaths. I I only bought a certain amount of wreath forms this year, and I wanted to make more Christmas wreaths. I've only made one Christmas wreath, and that's it. So I want to make more wreaths. I want to do, instead of it being like a an 85% door hangers and the rest wreaths, I want to kind of make it 50-50. That's going to be my goal for the next coming year. I'm hoping. Um, my goal is to go next year. By this time next year, I want to be able to go to market in Dallas. I've always wanted to go, and I just want to go to market. Like I
I
want to get
can
inspired. I
picture
want to buy
your
things.
head is going to go poof.
Yes,
But that's a
yes.
fantastic goal. That's a
Mhm.
fantastic goal. All right. Well, guys, if you don't have any more questions for Cindy, I don't have any more questions. This has been wonderful, and I thank you so much for joining me. And I hope this was pain-free for you. So, would you encourage other makers to come join me and have a conversation?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I would, it was more the anticipation that was nerve-wracking for me, but it's very easy flowing. You're amazing. Thank you for having me, and thank you for doing this for the community. I feel like this can go beyond the wreath community. This can go for small businesses that have crafters that have small businesses. It doesn't necessarily have to be for wreath makers. This can go beyond that, and I just want to thank you for having me, and thank you for doing this, because I feel like you're touching subjects that we feel as business owners. A lot of the times we're at home, we're working from home, and we're kind of isolated, and I feel that we think that we're alone in certain issues, but we're not. And you're bringing those to light. You're bringing those to light, and I love it.
Good. I'm so glad. And that was the whole point, guys. I started this really sitting here at work on a Friday, and I had a thought, and I'm like, if they knew better, we'd all do better. And that's how it started, because there is such a need for community in anything that you're doing, and you need people coming alongside you that are in the same thing. They're doing the same thing, having the same struggles, to be able to have a conversation. So just so you guys know, I heard the need. The need was for people to be able to go back and rewatch these. So when you do come on and do Real Talk with me, just know that it will be posted on YouTube. And if you are a YouTube creator, I will tag you so that your YouTube followers can also see this conversation with you, because it's so nice to sit down with all the wonderful creators when they're having a conversation and not creating, so they're focused, and you can ask them questions about, the things that they do and how they got to where they are. So I appreciate your time. I know it's 2 hours out of your day, and I thank you so very much for finding that this is important, it's valuable, and for taking your time. And I'm going to do a little plug right now. On the 29th of this month, Needy with Crafty's Jeans is joining me. So she will be here also having a conversation with you guys. She is new to TikTok, not necessarily to the wreath community or the business side of it, but she is new to TikTok. So she'll be joining me on the 29th. And be on the lookout. Claudia's got a few more ideas for this community. So pay attention, guys, and follow me. If you don't follow me, it doesn't cost you anything to follow me. It doesn't cost you anything to follow the other creators that are joining me. So please follow us and learn from us and participate in this community, because we want to help you be successful too. All right, guys, have a good day. Cindy, again, thank you.
Guys. Thank you guys.
All right,
for
guys,
going live
have a
with
good
me.
Friday. We'll see you tonight. Night of Blessings, 7:30 Central.
Night of
Don't forget,
Blessings, yes.
Night of Blessings tonight, okay? Bye, guys.
Bye, y'all.
7:30 tonight is Night of Blessings, Central Time. Okay? Any other questions? All right, guys. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.